Hello everyone, so welcome to the scope here. This is LorettaLoveHuff. Hey, welcome Diz Wizzle. Thanks for joining. So if you have some friends and you want to share the broadcast with them, I'd appreciate it if you'd swipe up and share the broadcast. I appreciate that you're here, and welcome to all the replay viewers as well. So this is 7 strategies for courageous growth. And I sent out a scope yesterday because I hosted a lunch with some women. Hey, welcome Joe in Huron. Thanks for joining us. So at this event, I held an event yesterday called Courageous Leadership and Outrageous Growth for women in business primarily. So we had a small group of people masterminding, and I spoke briefly about what these 7 strategies were, but I wanted to outline them a little bit more carefully here. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat box. I'm trying to watch that. My eyes are a little hazy there for the tiny print, but if I see your question, I'll try to respond to it. And I'd actually love to know where it is that you're scoping in from. So if you would type your name and where you are in the comments, that would be awesome. We'd really appreciate that. So I want to say hi to you and where you are. So I'm in Phoenix. You probably know that. So what else do I want to say? I think that's it in terms of intros. I also appreciate hearts. So when I say something that resonates with you, if you would, tap on the screen and give me a few hearts, I would love that. So the first strategy is around personal mastery. So this is understanding who you are and what your mindset is. And why I say personal mastery is because a lot of times people kind of blame other people and they blame the world for their lack of success. And the people who are truly successful generally are successful because they have the right mindset, because they believe in themselves, because they take action on the things that they want to make happen, and they're moving forward in a really productive way. So it's really important if you're going to be successful and have outrageous growth, either in your career, if you're working for someone, or in your business, it's really critical that you take responsibility for what's happening around you. So you can't play the blame game on other people. You've got to, take responsibility for your own actions, do things that are going to get you closer to where it is that you're trying to go. So personal mastery might be, dealing with your emotions and making sure that even when you don't feel really positive and uplifted, that you find something around you to feel good about so that you're not caught in this downward spiral. Does that ever happen to you? Something bad happens. It happened to me a couple of weeks ago. So actually a series of bad things happened and I just got into this spiral and I was feeling worse and worse and worse. And I thought, wait, I can't continue like this. And I know that it's not exactly positive thinking, but it kind of is. When you think about things that are more uplifting, you feel better, your energy improves, your relationships around you improve, people start helping you a lot more than when you're complaining all the time. So think about it, when you're around somebody else who's complaining all the time, how fun is that? Not really. So personal mastery is being responsible for your feelings, for your actions, for setting goals, for knowing where you want to go, and then taking constructive, proactive steps toward getting there. The second thing is kind of understanding where your strategic position is. So this is more important if you're a business owner than if you're an employee in corporate America or working in somebody else's business. So you could be a really high-end offering. So something like, Mercedes-Benz. So really high quality, high price. And here my point about this is that you can make money in any of the quadrants that I'm going to talk about. But you want to know where you are, because when you know which quadrant you're in, it makes your marketing that much more effective because you're talking to the right people. So imagine if you were selling a Mercedes, you would say different things than if you're selling, I don't know what, like a low-end car, but some really low-end car. You would say different things, your audience would be different, you would use different words, different images. So it's important that you understand where you are in the strategic marketplace. So high-end, high price, high-end but low price. So maybe you're selling, last year's items at a discounted price, but they're still high quality. Or you could be, low price, low quality, and that might be, for example, like the dollar store, where you can get kind of regular things at cheap prices packaged for a dollar store market, But you could also get some really like cheesy things at the dollar store too. And my point is, in all four of these areas, you can make money in any of them. So just know where you are because it helps you be more focused in your marketing. So let me say, I'm a business coach. My name is LorettaLoveHuff. I'm a business coach, the dream leader for business. I specialize in helping women in service-based businesses brand themselves so that they understand who they are and what it is that they have to offer and how to find their ideal clients. I also work in the corporate market because I spent 20 some years in corporate America in companies like Apple and Sega and Sears when it was a big deal, and Kraft Foods and DreamWorks, a lot of great places. And I was primarily in human resources. So I was having conversations with people all the time about their careers, their employees, their bosses, where am I going to go? What's happening here? Why are things not going the way I want? And so I use a lot of that experience that I had both in corporate America and as 16 years as a business owner to work with my clients. So I work with business owners. I also work with corporate people because I totally understand that world because I was there for a really, really long time. So strategic position. So you need to know where you are in the marketplace so that you can appeal to the people that are really important to you and that are going to relate to you and who are going to buy from you. So the other one is, or the next one I'll say is managing your brand. So understanding what your brand is. And you might be thinking, well, gosh, I'm not McDonald's or I'm not Mercedes-Benz and I don't have a marketing budget like that. So I don't really have a brand. But the thing is, whether you have a brand or not, you have a reputation in the marketplace and that is your brand. So whatever people in the marketplace think about you, that's your brand. So you may not have consciously created it, but you've got one. And so the point here is that you want to make some conscious effort to have a brand and to communicate what you want to communicate to people. So what their impression of you is not by default. Does that make sense? So if you have some questions, type them in the chat box. And if you have a comment, let me know that as well. And if you gosh, I was going to say something, totally forgot what it was, so I'll keep going. So the other thing is team leadership. You can get only so far on your own. And it's really important for you to have people around you who are supporting you, who really believe in what it is that you have to do. Hey, thanks for the hearts, whoever that purple is, I appreciate that. So it's really important for you to get them on board, to have people feel like they're really meaningful and they're really helpful for you. I read a book years and years ago by a man named Studs Terkel. He's passed away now. But one of the things that he said which really stuck with me is that people are not looking for a job. They want something meaningful that's going to bring life to them. So I'm misquoting it because I just thought of it a few minutes ago and I can't remember exactly what the words were. But it's like people want something that's going to help them transform the ordinary, everyday dullness of their everyday lives. And if they're working with you and you can help them feel like they're making some contribution to something that's really much larger than they are, they'll be much more loyal, they'll be grateful, they'll be empowered, they'll be excited, they'll be passionate, and you'll get really good work out of them. Versus what a lot of managers do is just, hey, do what I say, just work really hard and do what I say. And that's not very motivational, not inspirational at all. And so when you're leading a team, you want to tap into what's really important to them, figure out what each team member's gifts are and give them assignments that are really aligned with their gifts so that they find it fun and easy to do the work that you need them to get done. And then help them find their place in the bigger market space. So, if you're working on a big goal, then you want to share with them what that goal is and how they in particular are going to help get there. Because that'll make them that much more, again, impassioned and empowered and excited about reaching the goal. So tip number 5 is financial mastery. This is about money. So understanding where your money is coming from, where it's going, how to use it most effectively, how to invest it in the right places so that you're getting a good return on your money. Because the reason that you're in business isn't because it probably is because you want to make money, and you should be making money. But for a lot of people, that's not the point of why they went into business. They went into business because there was something that they wanted to do. some change that they wanted to make present in the world, some service they wanted to make available, some product they wanted to make available so that the world would be a better place. And they want to make money doing that because clearly we need money to, stay on this planet and this country in particular. Hey there, welcome your healthy glow. Hey, welcome. Thank you. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. So we're talking about actually the fifth of the 7 strategies, so you can catch the replay to get the rest of the ideas here. We're just talking about financial mastery and understanding money and not being a hater for people who are doing really well. So a lot of the times people see someone doing really well and they get envious and they talk about them and they downplay them. I remember, and I hate to say this, but I remember when I was a little girl, my parents used to talk about the people who made a lot of money. Now, this might be true. I was a small kid, so I didn't really know that. So you're experiencing that too? So we used to talk about people who made a lot of money and would demean them and put them down and say that they were getting it, from crime or from something bad, which they might have been. I mean, I don't know. I was a kid, so they might have been actually doing that. But the thing is, a lot of people do that. They see people who are making money and they turn into haters about that. And you can't do that and attract money to you. You got to be appreciative and congratulatory of other people's successes. Because if you're denouncing other people's success, that's kind of telling the universe that you're not interested in that kind of success. And that's not the message that I think you want to give across. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, let me know. Share the broadcast with your friends, send some more hearts. I always love that. Yeah, they get envious. They do, and they turn into haters. And that's just not good. I try to be as positive as I can. I'm not a Pollyanna person, but I do try to see the upside of things. And I'm human. Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate that healthy glow. So I appreciate when people are doing great things, and I do actually find myself sometimes getting a little bit jealous, but then I recognize it and I say, wait, no, let me just give them some props because they did something and I'm proud of them. So I always appreciate people who are out there doing courageous things, taking leaps, making lots of money. I think it's a great thing. So I appreciate it, universe. I want you to know I love money. I appreciate it. I don't love it above everybody else, but it's a good thing. I would like some more. So the next strategy, thank you for those hearts. I do appreciate it. Sales and marketing. This is where, I work with a lot of small business owners, and this is where most of them fail. So they have a really hard time marketing themselves. So it's a lot easier to sell a thing. One of my first business before I started this consulting practice that I have right now is jewelry. So see, these little earrings are really simple. You can't really see them very much, but I made these. So these are metal. A lot of the ones that I did with semi-precious stones, like turquoise and onyx and some crystals and jasper and just a variety of colorful stones. And I would sell them in art and wine festivals. And it was really fun because I would stay at home after my full-time job and I would go home and make jewelry because it was really fun. And then on the weekends, I'd spend like Saturday, Sunday at the art shows selling them. And I loved it. Like people would come in, they'd see jewelry hanging on my wall. They'd come over, they'd bring it to me gingerly and they'd put money on the counter. Like it was like the best thing. But it's really different selling things that you've made or things that somebody else has made than it is if you're a consultant and what you're selling is your heart and your brain. It's a lot more challenging that way. So a lot of the business owners that I work with, because I do, as I said at the very beginning, I'm a business coach and I help small business owners grow their businesses by understanding who their ideal clients are and how to talk to them so that they're attracted to them and do business with them. So when you're selling yourself and your service, it's a lot more personal and a lot more makes you a lot more vulnerable feeling and offering the service to people. But you have to do it. So you have to market, you have to be able to close sales, you have to market so that people know that you exist. And then once they find out that you exist, you have to be able to talk to them in a way that they understand how you could help them so that they end up working with you and they give you money. Because that's a good thing, right? If you're going to be in business, you need to have clients. So number 6 is, actually I think I skipped over one. Actually number 7 is reinvention. So here's a self-disclosing story. I've been in a networking group for about 9 or 10 years, and periodically each of us has a chance to have a display table at our meeting, and people can come over and talk to us more specifically about what we've got going on and what's new. And so one of the guys who's been in the group even longer than I had came to visit my table. This was several months ago now. And he said, "Hey, what's new?" And I thought about it, and there wasn't really anything new. Like, I had gotten into this rut, so I had a number of things that I did regularly with people, but that's what I was doing all the time. And I thought, oh my God, for somebody who thinks that she's really creative, to not have anything new felt really odd to me. So when he said that, I started thinking of how am I going to rebrand this? And then here's another indicator. I don't know if you've ever watched Bar Rescue. So if you've watched Bar Rescue, give me some hearts there, because I love that guy. He is the star of the show, is a consultant who goes into restaurants and bars that are failing, and he totally revamps them, and he's really kind of hardcore in the process of doing it. So he pulls no punches. He tells people when they're jerks or stupid or cowardly or too bossy or whatever it is. He's like, pulls no punches. But he totally revamps their business and gives them a whole new brand. And one of the things that he said was that you need to be revamping and refreshing your brand every 3 to 5 years. And if you have a physical location, you need to be revamping that every 7 years, because people do get kind of tired of seeing the same old thing all the time. And that's actually where the Courageous Leadership, Outrageous Growth came from, was me thinking about how am I going to I won't say exactly repackage, but kind of repackage what I'm doing so that it's fresh and new and people are kind of intrigued by it. So reinvention is really important. So the 7 steps again are, just to summarize: personal mastery, taking responsibility for making sure that you're doing the right things emotionally and mentally and physically, like taking the right actions to make things happen. Understanding what your strategic position is in the marketplace. Managing your brand. So by doing, I don't think I talked about that one very much. So by doing the right things so that the public sees your company the way you want to be seen. So being proactive about that, because people have an opinion, but if it's not the one that you want, then you need to do something to make sure that they're thinking of you and perceiving you and your company, or in your career, if you're working someplace, in the way that you want to be seen. Then managing a team, so being able to pick the right people, give them the right jobs, get them on board, empower them to make decisions so that you can grow. Being aware of money and financial management, so knowing where your money is coming and going. And then reinventing yourself. Oh, and marketing and sales, so having a strategy for how you're going to get out in front of the marketplace and how you're going to convert the people that know who you are, those perfect customers for you, into customers for you. And then periodically reinventing yourself so that you stay fresh in the marketplace. Here's an example. So Uber totally has turned over the taxi cab industry, which has been around for probably as long as there have been cars, and maybe even chariots, right? And stagecoaches. People used to get on stagecoaches and probably pay money to get taken across someplace. So that was kind of the early taxi cab. And now Uber's totally revamped the way that taxis are done. So you've got to be thinking of, how am I going to revamp, my business or my career or the perception of me and my company in the marketplace, so that people are intrigued and want to do business with me instead of everybody else that's out there. So those are the 7 tips. I hope that you find those really helpful. If you have any questions, I've been watching the chat box here, so if you have a question, I'll stay on for a little bit longer to see if there are any questions here. If you're in Phoenix, I'm going to be leading a longer workshop on these very 7 items on the 14th, on a Thursday, April 14th, with the Professional Women's Association of Arizona. It's PWAA. So I can't remember exactly what they stands for, but I think it's Professional Women in Arizona. So anyway, thanks so much. If you haven't shared this, if you could share it, I would love that. Share it with your followers, and I'll be back in a day or so. Take care. Thanks so much.